Imagine this. The dust of Egypt is barely off their sandals, but freedom tastes sweet on the tongues of the Israelites. They have left behind generations of slavery, their backs no longer bent under the whips of their masters. Their journey towards a promised land has just begun, led by the pillar of cloud and fire, a divine compass guiding them through the vast, unforgiving wilderness. But back in Egypt, a dark change of heart is brewing. Pharaoh, his grief over the loss of his firstborn son, now twisted into a seething rage, looks out over his diminished kingdom. What have we done? He bellows, his voice echoing through the empty halls of his palace. We have let our slaves go. The whispers of his officials fuel his fury. The loss of labor, the blow to his pride, the sting of defeat, it's all too much. His heart, once softened by tragedy, now hardens into a stone of pure vengeance. Prepare the chariots, he commands. The command rings out, and the might of Egypt stirs. 600 of the finest chariots, gleaming bronze and polished wood, are readied. Horses, the pride of the Nile, snort and stamp, eager for the chase. Every chariot, every horseman, the entire military power of the empire is mobilized. An iron tide of retribution is about to be unleashed. Their target, the very people God had just set free. The Israelites are camped by the sea, the vast expanse of the Red Sea stretching before them like an impassable blue wall. The air is calm, filled with the murmur of a people tasting their first moments of liberty. But then a low rumble on the horizon, a cloud of dust growing larger, darker, more menacing with every passing second. The ground begins to tremble. Fear, cold and sharp, cuts through the camp. It's Pharaoh's army. Chariots like a swarm of locusts, spears and swords glinting under the harsh sun, a relentless wave of destruction rolling towards them. Panic erupts. They are trapped. Behind them, the most powerful army in the world, thirsting for their blood. Before them, the deep, churning waters of the Red Sea. There is nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. The taste of freedom turns to ash in their mouths. Cries of terror and despair rise up, a symphony of fear directed at the one who led them here. Was it because there were no graves in Egypt that you brought us to the desert to die? They cry out to Moses, their voices thick with accusation and regret. It would have been better for us to serve the Egyptians than to die in the wilderness. Their faith, so recently ignited, now flickers, threatening to be extinguished by the terrifying reality of their situation. They see only the chariots, the sea, the inescapable trap. But Moses, standing firm amidst the chaos, sees something else. He sees God, his face, weathered by the sun and etched with the lines of his divine mission, is a mask of unwavering calm. He raises his hands, not in surrender, but to silence the storm of fear. His voice, clear and strong, cuts through the noise. Do not be afraid. He declares, his words a lifeline to the drowning souls around him. Stand firm, stand still, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptians you see today you will never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. In that moment, Moses is more than a leader. He is a beacon of faith, a living testament to the power of the unseen God. As he speaks, the pillar of cloud, their divine guide, moves. It shifts from its place in front of them and settles behind them, a celestial shield between the terrified Israelites and the advancing Egyptian army. On one side it casts a brilliant, divine light upon the camp of Israel. On the other, it plunges Pharaoh's army into a thick supernatural darkness, halting their advance, confusing their horses, and sowing chaos in their ranks. All through the night, the two camps remain separated, one bathed in light, the other lost in shadow. Then the Lord speaks to Moses. Raise your staff and stretch out your hand over the sea to divide the water, so that the Israelites can go through the sea on dry ground. Moses obeys. He stands at the edge of the churning water, a solitary figure against the vastness of the sea and the sky. He raises his shepherd's staff, the same staff that turned the Nile to blood, that summoned plagues upon Egypt. He stretches his hand out over the water, and then the miracle begins. A great east wind, powerful and relentless, begins to blow. It howls across the surface of the Red Sea, not just pushing the water, but tearing it apart. The sea roars as if in protest, waves crashing and churning with unimaginable force. But the wind is stronger. All through the night it pushes the water back, carving a path where none existed. The water doesn't just recede, it rises. It piles up on either side, forming two colossal walls of liquid, suspended in defiance of all natural law. Imagine it, towering walls of translucent blue and green, alive with the swirling forms of fish and sea creatures, frozen in their aquatic dance. Between these two impossible walls, the seabed emerges. Not as mud, not as slick, wet sand, but as completely dry ground. A glowing, otherworldly path opens up through the heart of the sea. Moonlight and flashes of lightning from the pillar of cloud reflect off the watery walls, casting an ethereal glow on the path. The Israelites stare in stunned silence, their fear replaced by a profound and overwhelming awe. This is not the work of man. This is the hand of God, painting a masterpiece of salvation on the canvas of the sea. Moses turns to them, his eyes reflecting the divine light. "Go," he commands. Tentatively at first, then with growing confidence, the people step onto the dry seabed. Men, women, children, and their livestock begin their impossible journey. They walk between the towering walls of water, their hearts pounding, not with fear, but with a faith that is being forged anew in the crucible of this miracle. They look up at the liquid walls, at the path beneath their feet, and they know with absolute certainty that they are walking through the very power of God. From the other side, shrouded in darkness, the Egyptians see the impossible. They see the light, they hear the movement. When the dawn begins to break, they see the last of the Israelites entering the path through the sea. Pharaoh, his heart hardened beyond reason, sees not a divine miracle, but an escape route. After them, he screams. Consumed by pride and rage, the entire Egyptian army chariots, horsemen, and soldiers thunders down into the seabed, charging along the same dry path. They are confident, unstoppable, believing their prize is within their grasp. But inside the sea corridor, their power means nothing. God looks down from the pillar of fire and cloud and throws the Egyptian army into confusion. The wheels of their chariots get clogged, they break, they get stuck in the miraculously dry ground. The fearsome war machine grinds to a halt, trapped within the watery canyon. Let's get away from the Israelites. The soldiers shout in terror. The Lord is fighting for them against Egypt. Then, as the last Israelite sets foot on the far shore, the Lord speaks to Moses one final time. Stretch out your hand over the sea so that the waters may flow back over the Egyptians and their chariots and horsemen. Moses, standing safely on the other side, raises his staff again. He stretches his hand out over the sea. The moment is cataclysmic. The mighty wind ceases. The invisible force holding back the walls of water vanishes. With a deafening roar that sounds like the thunder of creation itself, the sea collapses. The two towering walls of water crash down, a torrent of unimaginable fury. Water, tons and tons of it, smashes together, swallowing the dry path and everything on it. The chariots, the horses, the pride of the Egyptian army, they are all engulfed. The powerful waves toss them about like children's toys before dragging them down into the depths. Not one of them survived. Not a single soldier, not a single chariot. The sea that had been their path to vengeance became their watery grave. As the sun rises fully over the horizon, the Israelites stand on the shore of their freedom, looking back at the now calm sea. The bodies of their former masters wash up on the shore, a final, grim testament to the battle that was fought and won for them. A great silence falls over the people, a silence of awe and reverence. The terror is gone. The doubt is gone, replaced by a profound, soul-shaking realization of what has just happened. They have witnessed the mighty hand of the Lord, and there, on the shores of the Red Sea, fear of a different kind takes root in their hearts. Not the fear of an enemy, but the reverent fear of an all-powerful, promise-keeping God. And the people of Israel put their trust in the Lord, and in his servant Moses. Their journey was far from over, but on that day their freedom was sealed not by their own strength, but by the awesome sea-parting power of their God. Thank you so much for watching. If this story inspires you, please give this video a like and consider subscribing to our channel for more content that brings faith to life. We'll see you in the next video.